Good morning. I just wanted to show another tarot deck. I'm trying some more new stuff. My name's Chris. Welcome. I'm supposed to say that. A younger family member is tutoring me, even though they don't have internet access. They seem to find this fascinating. Maybe she'll grow up to be a producer, editor, or something like that. But I will have a candlelight thing for anyone, but this is the one that's lit today. Kind of yellow. I guess it means various things to various people, but to me it would mean hope, and I'll just stick with hope. But I'm trying a new background there, so that's the thumbnail for the video that you see, and let's get rid of that and bring up the other one. And there are the cards, and let's get rid of me. There we go. Okay, so we're looking at the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot, and it's Los Scarabeo, and it's 2019, and it comes in a box. I'm not big on boxes, but this might be one that I just keep on the where I keep decks to have some boxes in the tarot tower, I guess I'll call it, for lack of a better word. Let's get the box out of the way. There's what the backs look like. Let me bring in something so I can show the backs. These are kind of glossy, as might be showing up. Let's try with the lights for a second, just in case, because the sun isn't out, although it's pretty bright out there. Let me look. And hopefully the audio is a little better. I'll pull the mic down from the ceiling and put it beside me here with a pop filter and foam, and I've tried so many different ways of doing audio. Part of it is me, of course, not being a speaker, talker, orator, whatever you want to call it. This looks a little off right here, so let me tap the screen in some spot and see if that makes it better. I don't think it did. Let's try that again. I think that helps a little. It's difficult, especially when I'm moving and things are moving, and this card is a little too high. But anyway, that's the backs, so you've probably seen those backs before. I kind of prefer the bluish one myself, but that's okay. That's the art card that comes with it. Nobody cares about those. Or this card, which is now the same picture, but one is Instagram and one is Facebook. Don't do Facebook, don't do Instagram anymore. Not hating on them, just not enough time in life to do all those things and be that interactive. So I guess that makes me kind of aloof. Is that the right word? But anyway, there's the Major Arcana. Get that out of there. Wait, we want to show the Fool, don't we? We always show the Fool. It's nice. The colors are nice. The borderless is nice. The lettering not being so huge is nice. I can still read it. I'm old. So it's a nice deck. It has a darkness about it, I think, a little bit. And that might just be, from what I'm noticing, is that the illustration, the inking lines, I guess you could call it, around all the objects are thicker, darker, for some reason. But that's okay. I kind of like it. It's okay. Let's cover these up and bring in the minors, and at the end I'll come back. And then I'm going to show some cards I just got made for myself. We got issues here with these wands. Here's the wands, kind of crooked, but I think you get the idea. Make sure that's okay. That's okay. Moving on. Here come the cups. I'm going fast, but I can't. See, I bumped it. I don't want to bump the microphone. That was one reason. It was up in the air, so that bumping thing's back. My apologies. I'll get better and restrain my movements. This looks good. Here come the swords. And of course you can pause and disable the audio and all that stuff. Or increase your volume or whatever it takes. But I'm not saying anything controversial or all that important. I tend to just be about showing them clearly. Because used to that was an issue for me. I couldn't find any channels that were showing the cards all that clearly. I mean, I still watched and I bought decks based on those reviews or shows. But that's the only reason I started doing this. I had a okay camera. And now I have a lamer camera, but an okay camera up there. So that, and there's a book, kind of a thickish book for Los Scarabeo actually. I forget how many pages. Let's see. I think it's 67. So in English anyway, it starts to fall downhill after that. Like there's less words, I mean. So I guess they're recognizing where a lot of the decks are being purchased by English speakers instead of Italian, Spanish, French, and Portuguese. But it's still nice they do that. It's slightly unfair that they don't get all the words you're getting over here, or it doesn't look that way to me. Maybe their language requires less words, but I don't think so. But there you go, 67 pages. That's interesting. 2019. I always rate the year on books. It's a bad habit. So that was hopefully, and I'll try to separate this from the next thing. A quick show of the Radiant Y Spirit Tarot. Maybe the darkness has something to do with spirit. Maybe. I'm not sure. So I'm going to come back now to show the next ones, I think. Should I come back? Let's bring me back. There. Hello again. Now, here comes some cards that I made. They are plastic cards. They're from Make Playing Cards. I'm in no way affiliated, despite yapping about it all the time. They're just the only place that I've had success making cards. Except this one isn't entirely a success. I basically got, I think it was 47, 46 cards to use as flashcards for learning something else. So I had, 30 some left over? I think 31. So I made the rest of them based on some paintings I've done. Not really great paintings, some sketches, some photos I've taken. Some are acrylic, some are watercolor. That's the picture of the moon there, but with black and white setting. Black and white for the fire pit, black and white for the door on the shed. I thought it had a face about it. And you can see these, maybe not, but I took the, just to test the plastic and water resistance of them. I took these first two, which looks like my channel kinda, that thing at the top of your channel where you have your little circle picture and then a background picture. But you may not be able to see it, but I put it in some room temperature water and let it sit there for 15 minutes and then took them out, but started to float in the water with little pieces from whatever the cards are coated with. So they're not, who's going to go diving with the cards anyway? But they're not that water resistant. So saying something's plastic doesn't make it like some of the other decks that I have, which really are plastic and survived that little test. So what can I say about these? There's my ugly little metallic green car. But what you probably can't see, you can see the one rainbow. This is in the backyard last summer, summer before. And there's really 3 rainbows there. There's a little one that was really intense, then kind of a middle intense, and then a lighter one, which was even bigger. That was a fire one night at the fire pit. Kind of remembering my grandmother, even though she doesn't look like that. Let me get rid of me for a second so you can see her. or my pencil drawing of her. That's in a journal. That's an acrylic painting. This is my thoughts on what if Van Gogh had read Moby Dick. He might do Starry Whale Night. I know, bad, right? Bad joke. But he might. I can't ever get through Moby Dick, so I wish Van Gogh luck with reading that. Although there are sections of it that I like. So here's the last little set of plasticky cards I had made. Again, I get rid of me. That's a raven, acrylic, a raven or crow on a limb in a full moon on a cloudy-ish, windy kind of night. That's a watercolor, a Zen duck with all his ducks in a row, so to speak. I don't know, that's a sunrise or sunset. This is trying to do watercolor on an iPad with Procreate. It kind of works if you take your time, but the sky still has that digital blue look, which isn't so good. There's no gradient like there would be in watercolor. Another sketch from a journal, kind of grandmother merging with the land and a black sun or moon. Something I repeated, I don't know, thousands of times. Kind of three me's running somewhere. Kind of me lost in this fog. And I forget what I call that. Deception, perception, and edges of form. Long story. My one unknown event my entire life, which as a skeptical type person, other than tarot, can't be explained, and I would forget about it if I hadn't been there with someone else who, when he spoke about it, we agreed 100% on what happened, so something happened. Here's another doodle from a journal where it's from a dream where something happened to the spin of planet Earth, and the oceans rose up and were above the sky, which sounds ridiculous, right? And that's a kind of inspired by this crystal kind of doodle. You can kind of see the crystal in there. It looks rabbit-like-ish, if I can hold it up there. So that inspired that. There's another Van Gogh inspired picture. He kind of like sunflowers right here. That's his hand in the earth. Kind of trying to bring this one back to life. This is a drawing of Woodstock, I think his name is, the bird from Charlie Brown. Someone did, and I tried to copy, but not as well as they did. That's just something I wouldn't mind having, but won't have. Chocolate cake with like a fudge icing and strawberries and whipped cream. This is a thing, individual, whatever, that appears in lots of nightmares and dreams, recurring. And here's I won't go into details on this, but like an accident with the spirit soul kind of rising up. And I don't think I'll be getting plastic cards again. They're very expensive. Let me bring me back here at the end. Bring back in our candle, which is going to burn me. That's a nice liquidy, if that shows up. Kind of liquidy stuff going there. And this is for anyone that needs it. Look at that, it's effervescing. Well, that is interesting. Yep. I always go the wrong way with that camera. I don't get it. So I think that's a pretty good show. Let's get this out of here. It's causing a lack of focus. And there we go. So again, that was a quick show of The Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot by Los Garabio, and I'm not sure all the artists and editors' names, although they have a little editing problem, as I'll show in another video. So with that, I will say peace.